Well, let's talk about public ownership for a second. People put tax monies forward to pay for schools, to pay for water systems, sewer, to pay for parks, to pay for waste collection, street repair, a whole range of municipal services. The people own those services. They're public services. People pay taxes for them. Now, privatization seeks to take a service that is produced by the public, and these companies say, well, we'll do it better or we'll do it cheaper. And what they do, they take over the service, let's say it's electric, and they end up charging more. They end up cutting wages of the employees, that increases profits. They end up reducing services, that increases profits. And they end up increasing rates, that increases profits. Private companies look for areas where they can take over what belongs to the public so that they can use it as a way of building huge monopolies. See, if you have a public electric system, as Johnson established, he established Muni Lights so that people would be able to tell the difference between Muni Lights rates, a kilowatt hour, and the kilowatt hour rates of the Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company, which is about 3 times as much. I mean, what would you pick? You got one product which is a penny, and another product which is 3 cents. One product that's $1, another product that's $3. Electricity is electricity. There's not a difference in watts and ohms and the power that's delivered. It's all the same. Except when the public provides it, it's not building in the cost of a profit. It's not building in the cost of stock owners. It's not building in the cost of executive compensation, advertising, marketing. It doesn't build that in. It's just you get charged for the service. The private sector builds all the extra cost in, and with the profit motive, charges people more. So what would you take? Of course, people, when they had the opportunity to take Muni Light, they chose the cheaper power. But that was just the beginning. There was a long-standing effort to subvert the public interest in the city of Cleveland. It went on for decades, where the Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company, with Squire, Sanders, and Dempsey, the inheritors of the philosophy of Mark Hanna, tried to subvert the public ownership, until at last, in 1978, the city of Cleveland was thrown into default when the city, under my leadership, refused to sell the municipal electric system to the Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company, and the banks said that unless I did that, they weren't going to renew the city's credit. Now, why would you have a battle like that? Because there was hundreds of millions of dollars then at stake. So Tom Johnson said that that public ownership was a public right. It wasn't loot. It wasn't like some loot that's to be distributed to private companies. That there's a reason for government to exist, and it's to provide a service, and at quality service at an inexpensive cost. And so his thinking is still very much alive today. As a matter of fact, when I had to make a decision about what I would do back in the 1970s, I understood how important it was to protect this electric system. I read a story that author George Condon wrote about this battle that took place at the turn of the century when Tom Johnson was trying to create the electric system, and how it was a book called Cleveland, the Best Kept Secret by George Condon. And in reading that, I was really struck by the fact that Tom Johnson really put it all on the line. He made a commitment to the people to provide for cheaper electricity, and it fell to me to make the decision to protect that legacy. And it's funny, I could almost, when I had to make the decision, I could almost hear his voice calling out across the ages to say, don't sell that electric system. Today, the electric system survives. It's reached over 100 years now, which, really celebrating Tom Johnson's vision. And his his vision is not something that relates only to Cleveland, but it relates to the whole country.